They're no spring chicken. It's just beyond me. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Cornback Kings Talk. And this is a week in a nutshell. Double feature. Let's get started. And let's hop into this week for real. Kings lose 3-2 in regulation. No pity point. To Calgary. And first off, thank you whoever's watching on YouTube, listening on one of the many following it. Networks, Spotify, Apple, Deezer, Stitcher, iHeart, Amazon, Google. You get the picture. And this team really went 1 for 6 on the power play. Thankfully, they did cash in a goal. But if you're up 6-4 in the last 2 minutes because you pulled the goalie, how do you not stuff a chance in? And there was a post-whistle WWE move by Johnny Gaudreau that happened and somehow didn't get called. Right, because anything goes after the whistle. This felt like a playoff game with some shenanigans, and you just got out physical. And playoff physical is still the nature, and you got to cash in on those scoring opportunities. It's just, you could do better, and those first and third goals were preventable, especially the first goal. Look at the replay. And you have Edmonton coming up. I bet you want to play well against them since you're probably facing them in the first round. If by gosh something happens to Calgary. Let's just go on to that game. Welcome back to another episode of Week in a Nutshell. I'm your host, and Kings played 2 Alberta teams again this week. First up, the Calgary Flames. First off, before we get into this game, thank you for watching on YouTube or listening on to one of the many following audio networks. These are Buzzsprout, Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeart, Google, Amazon. You name it, I'm likely there. Kings lose in regulation 3-2 to Calgary. And you go 1 for 6 on the power play. 1 for 6. And you're good that only you got 1 goal out of it, but still, that's 5 missed opportunities, especially with the goalie pulled in a power play under 4 minutes left in the game. I do like that it's a playoff style game, just being more physical and just getting some more serious workload and all that, but you got to score goals. Those first and the third goal by Calgary could have been preventable, especially the first goal 10 seconds in. I saw on Twitter, which could be a good or bad thing at sometimes, that Jersey got WWE wrestled to the ground by Gaudreau, and of course no penalty because it's after the whistle. I'm surprised that anything, it just sucks. And Calgary, done. Now Edmonton's in the next game. Another playoff. It's going to be our playoff matchup in the first round at least. Let's just go on to that one, see how they do. Kings lose 3-2 to Edmonton here in Los Angeles. And you should have had this. I should say that every time, but they gave away a couple bad mistakes and they cashed in. Simple as that. Good to see Lemieux and Roy back after their extended period of time being hurt. But if the Kings are going to play Edmonton in the postseason and not have home ice advantage, you might want Drew Doughty back. Or just more help. Or Mikey Anderson, someone. We need the players back, and you got to finish on your opportunities. I know they get on the road very soon, so they're going to Minnesota, they go to Colorado, and I believe Chicago's in between them. That's going to be a pretty tough 3 games. 2 of those 3 are playoff locks, in my opinion. And you got to finish on your opportunities. I know they get on the road very soon, so they're going to Minnesota, they go to Colorado, and I believe Chicago's in between them. That's going to be a pretty tough 3 games. 2 of those 3 are playoff locks, in my opinion. And You just gotta do better. Let's just go into the next game. What happened in this game? Kings lose to the Wild 6-3, and this will be part of the double feature. So hopefully by the end of Easter, if you celebrate that, you'll see a much longer week in a nutshell. Kings lose 6-3 to Minnesota, and right off the bat, they scratch Arthur Kaliev and keep in Carl Grundstrom. Well, here's the caveat. Blake Lizotte was coming back, so Grundstrom was the odd man out. And it was just weird. Off the top, great shorthand goal by Rasmus Kupari. Great power play goal by Kempe, and they did score an even strength goal by Mr. Grundstrom. But after that, it was all Minnesota. Playoff teams don't give up 6 unanswered. They usually give up 1 or 2 and then fight back. And the fact that they chose to not play one of their better power play wingers is just beyond me. You have to win Chicago now, because after that you have the mighty Avalanche, and they're no spring chicken. Hopefully the opponents who are playing Vegas can hold off Vegas. But you don't want to put fate into the other people's hands. You put fate into your own. And right now, you're shaky. Let's just get to the next game. Kings win 5-2 to Chicago in regulation, obviously. And going into this game, it was a must-win. And that's what they did. They put their head down and they scored. The Deneau line, or as people be calling the nice line, or the mad line, just did well. And there was some great goals, those first 2 goals. And I think someone on Twitter said, Thousand Oaks native Trevor Moore scores on Rancho Cucamonga man, Colin Delia. So it's a little California hockey action for you. The Chicago scored, and it was a good goal. Same with their second goal too. You could have argued there was a interference, but it was a legal soccer-like play. And it was interesting to see Brown back in the lineup, and he did his job. And I was shocked to see Lemieux out, but maybe he's not always 100% right now. He did have a significant injury, and unfortunately Doughty's done for the year with his wrist surgery, so it's more of the Troy Stetcher and Jordan Spence show. I think, and I hope Toby maybe takes a breather. I don't know what you want with X amount of games left in the year, but it's very good to help him progress his growth, because I don't really like him paired with Dursey. Maybe with Roy he's more of a better player. I'm not sure. So let's just hopefully Edler and the guys can teach him some more stuff. If you're wondering why I'm wet, I'm in Minnesota where it rained for most of the night, and the Dodger game, to be precise. And it was a very fun experience and also very wet. So I'm just chillaxing in a warm area. Kings play Colorado. So hopefully you can get these games to overtime to get a point, because you do not want to lose in regulation to Colorado, because they'll run circles around you. Let's just go to that game. Kings lose to Colorado. I'm not going to say the score because you saw it, and it happened. They were the better team. There's nothing else much to say, and I just have more nitpicks. Why wasn't Brendan Lemieux playing? Why was Quick playing on a back-to-back in Denver? Why did we end on a back-to-back in Denver? Shouldn't it be for teams the other way around? But hey, you don't argue with the schedule. You play it as is. But it's on, the destiny's in your own hands. You gotta make it happen. Let's just see what they do against Columbus, I believe. Welcome back to Net. So the feature for this week, Kings win 2-1 against Columbus in regulation. I didn't know Brownie had that goal in him. That was pretty impressive. And then the Deneau goal was perfect tic-tac-toe, fill the greasy rebound with the goal. It was really impressive. And you could have said that Corral goal was a bit of a mistake on both quick ends of defense, but what you gonna do? And before the game, we learned that Byfield and Velarde and Stetcher were sitting, and I guess Stetcher because Spence has earned the right, which is great for the youth. I was surprised when Byfield got scratched because he was doing all right, but maybe he needed just a better perspective. That's what they did with Kelly in the Minnesota game, and I don't know if that was a good idea or not. Same with Velarde. I think he just needed a perspective night. But finally, this is the end of the double feature. Thanks for watching and listening. If you're on YouTube, click like and subscribe, turn on post notifications, and hit the bell. And then, if you're on many of the audio networks, Apple, Buzzsprout, Deezer, Stitcher, Spotify, Amazon, Google, iHeart, you name it, I'm likely on it. Thank you, give 5 stars, rating, review, and all the good stuff. Hopefully a more traditional Week in a Nutshell comes soon.